right, guys, I'm breaking the sweat today. So I didn't clickbait yet, and I don't have Shaquille O'Neal's shoe right here. This is a gaming PC. In fact, this is the Cooler Master Sneaker X right here. So this has some insane power, really incredible specs on here. We're going to comb through all that momentarily. But first, I want to show you guys exactly what the scale is here. So obviously in a video, it's a little bit hard to gauge exactly how massive something is. And this is pretty damn massive. It's also heavy. This is 30 pounds. And it's not just that it's 30 pounds, it's also very cumbersome. It's not a sleek and compact design by any means. It's friggin' massive. It's not, just one set shape. It kind of tapers in and out all over the place. So I wasn't sure how to actually handle this today, but I went heel to toe, and that seems to be the most stable way to go about this. But yeah, definitely heavy, definitely cumbersome. But I want to give you guys the dimensions of this so you know exactly how large this is. Here's my hand, and in fact, my hand is about as big as the cooling fan over there, which is an awesome cooling fan. We're going to get to that momentarily. But I got my tape measure right here. Let's measure this heel to toe. So we're at about 26 inches on here. Now we'll also do the height. So from the table, and this sits very much flush to my table right here, we're at about 14 and a half inches tall. And then we'll do the width of this as well. And this is going to be a little bit tougher because it does taper in and out, as I mentioned, but we're at about 9 inches from, the left side to the right side or inside to outside. So hopefully that'll give you guys an indication as to what the, the size of this actually is. But you can barely see me peeking out from behind this. So we're going to dive into this. Let's kick it off. So the Cooler Master Sneaker X gaming PC offers the Intel Core i7 13700K processor. That's going to deliver speeds of about 5.4 gigahertz. And then for graphics, we have the NVIDIA GeForce RTX 4070, which is one of my all-time favorite options from NVIDIA. So in terms of power, we have the V850 SFX Gold, and we also have, for exceptional cooling on here, the Masterfan MF120 Halo, which you guys saw me putting my hand up against this. It is a massive cooling fan with exceptional airflow. We have a 2TB M2 NVMe SSD with Windows 11 Home installed on here. So we will have massive storage for our AAA titles on here. And this SSD is going to be 30 times faster than an HDD. We also have 32 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM on here. We have no bloatware, exceptional Wi-Fi and Bluetooth capabilities, and some amazing port options on here for HDMI as well as DisplayPort. And we have a ton of USB ports, which we're going to comb through here momentarily. And we're also offered a hassle-free warranty. So we get a 1-year parts and labor warranty with lifetime technical support, which I think is outstanding. So before we get started combing through where our ports and different connections are located on this gaming PC, I do want to take a look at the benchmark scores for a couple different titles using the specs of this gaming PC. So we have Cyberpunk 2077 outlined for us, as well as Red Dead Redemption 2, Hitman 3, Apex Legends, and Valorant. So if we go in here and we take a look at the low settings, for Cyberpunk, we're going to get 216 frames per second. For Red Dead Redemption 2, we're going to get 199 frames per second. For Hitman 3, 112 frames per second. For Apex Legends, 351 frames per second. And for Valorant, we're going to get a whopping 675 frames per second. Now that's using the low settings. If we want to kick it up to the ultra settings here, and you can see right here what the different settings will yield in terms of scores. But for the ultra settings here, for our Cyberpunk 2077, we have 86 frames per second. For Red Dead Redemption 2, 65 frames per second. For Hitman 3, 37 frames per second. For Apex Legends, 116 frames per second, and for Valorant, 256 frames per second. All right, guys, I mean, it doesn't get any cooler than this. And I want to highlight this panel right here just because the way my lighting is set up, you can see we do have a glare because it's so glossy, but you can see the shimmer on this little glitter effect that is consistently throughout the entire design here. It's just hard to pinpoint it in video, so I want to show you guys here because just the bend and the lighting here shows it perfectly. We have these little glittery sort of specks throughout the entire finish that just looks absolutely incredible the way the light hits it. It's even on the back side there as well. We can see we've got the cooling fan here. This is going to light up beautifully as well once we power this on. Power button located over here, right underneath the little shock there, but really, really, really cool. You could go ahead and start removing panels and stuff like that. I'm not going to do that because I'm just absolutely afraid that I'm going to damage this, but I'll peel this back so you guys can see. It does give you a warning right there. Fragile surface. Do not press on this surface. This is one of the beautiful aesthetics of this, but I can't wait to actually power this on so you guys can see how this lights up. But let's kind of just comb through the entire design here today. Love the Cool Master logo right here. Take a look right back here because this is actually where I was holding this, and here's where our power supply connection is going to be made. But you can actually, I wouldn't recommend holding it from right here, but right down here, there's enough to grab onto it. I would definitely recommend trying to handle this from the base just because these panels here, you can see, they are well made, but they're not going to support all the weight of this because, again, this is super heavy. So really love the design of this. I mean, I just don't have enough nice things to say about how unique of a design this is. And then, of course, what it's offering us for power and specs. Next thing we're going to do here is I'm actually going to remove this back panel here. And there's just 2 screws on each side. They're thumb screws, so you don't have to use any screwdrivers or anything like that. They just simply come out just by simply unscrewing them by hand. And you can actually remove this back panel. And back here, you're going to find all of your ports that you're going to need as a gamer. So right over here, we have all of our audio connections, followed by our Type-C connection right here. We have 2 regular USB ports up here at the top, Ethernet port, 4 USB 3 ports. We have our display port, HDMI port. That's all on the back side of our MSI motherboard. And then over here on the back of our NVIDIA GeForce, we have 3 display ports and an HDMI port right there. So that's what we're going to go ahead and start setting up. I'm going to go ahead and plug in my HDMI cable. And then what I'll be able to do is once that is connected, we'll go ahead and reinstall this and the cables will come right out the back side here. So really a nice setup that you don't have to leave this shut and it lines up perfectly. You don't have to wrestle with it. I can simply make those screw connections on here and we are good to go.
I'm cutting through history class now.
Roger that. Hunter 2-1, this is Hunter 2-3. Thanks for the assist. We're leaving Covert. Roger that, 2-3.
Look, an emergency box from the once was. A rare sight.
minimizing destruction. Tomorrow's Bugle headline's gonna be a doozy.
Worst thing out of this is a bad headline? I'ma count us lucky. Oh, crap, doing her best! Whoa! Hey, whoa!
You are worthy opponent, small one.
Flattery's not gonna get you out of this, Alexei. Hey, in the future, just do the time, man. No more breakouts, please.
You will not stop me.
We're looking for a man named Juan Cortez.
I don't know the name.
Okay.
All right, guys, I have had a blast testing out the Sneaker X from Cooler Master. This is a phenomenal gaming PC with amazing performance associated with it. So you can jump into retro video game emulation. You will have no limitations there whatsoever. Anything that can be emulated effectively will be on this gaming PC. Now let's talk about AAA games. It doesn't matter if you're jumping into a AAA title from 6 years ago or one that dropped yesterday, this is going to sail through it effortlessly. So we jumped into Fortnite, we jumped into Halo Infinite, we jumped into Spider-Man Miles Morales and a few other titles here. No issues whatsoever. And then again, emulation, no problems there either. So I attribute that to literally everything that this has to offer. We have exceptional cooling on here, amazing power behind this gaming PC. The processor is absolutely insane. And what I love most is the NVIDIA GeForce 4070. I'm a massive fan of what that has to offer. And I love the fact that this can very easily accommodate that. So I'm used to doing a lot with mini gaming PCs, mini PCs, micro PCs, and obviously you cannot accommodate NVIDIA GeForce 4070 in any of those. So usually you're dealing with AMD, which I have no issue with whatsoever. I am a big fan of AMD, but NVIDIA is my go-to. I'm just very well accustomed to using that for gaming personally. My other gaming PC uses the NVIDIA GeForce as well, not the 4070, a little bit smaller option, but definitely powerful. And I'm a big fan of their whole product line, not just the higher end stuff like this. So Really love everything that this offers. The RGB lighting and the settings for that are insane as well. But let's talk about the rest of the experience here. So obviously, this is a sneaker. I mean, this is designed to look like a massive friggin' sneaker. It's a statement piece. It's something you want to display. If you don't like the unique design of this, you're going to steer clear of this. And I think for those like myself that are practical and they're looking for something that's maybe a little bit more compact, or if it's not more compact, it's just a more regular sort of shape, so it can be tucked to like the side or, you know, underneath the desk or wherever you want your gaming PC to reside. In this case, it doesn't matter if you try to tuck this away, it's still the size of a massive friggin' sneaker. You're not hiding this. You saw how bulky it is, how cumbersome it is. It's not going to be hidden. You want to get this if you want to display it. So it's more than just a gaming PC, it's a statement piece. If you're not into using it in that way, you can get something that has similar specs for a little bit less elsewhere. So you would want to get this because you like the uniqueness of this, you like the way that it looks on your desk or wherever you're displaying it. So that makes it more of a gimmicky sort of item in my opinion. So for me, I'm practical. I also use my gaming area as a studio space here for my YouTube channel. So I want something that I can tuck away when I need to. I want something a little bit more practical. So for me, it's really not the best fit, other than the fact that the performance is exceptional and it does look really cool, but I need something that I can tuck away when I need to. And even if I push this to the end of my desk, it takes up the whole desk, honestly. And if I push it to the end, I have to worry about bumping into it. It's got a lot of areas on here that are a little bit flimsy. I mean, the top of the tongue, it's a really thin piece of plastic. A lot of the edge pieces too, it's just layered thin pieces of plastic. So I do think that you could get damage to this very easily. You have this little visor on top where the tongue of the shoe would be, very flimsy there as well. So there's just a lot of weird angles and thin pieces of plastic here that I don't think would withstand a whole lot. You would need this again to be tucked away, and you want to make sure that you don't have any kids or pets that are going to be bumping into this, because I think that over time this could definitely get damaged and dinged up very easily, as opposed to a more solid square or rectangular shaped, you know, gaming PC is going to just be way more compact and way more durable, you know, as a result of that. So I do like the fact that we have amazing port options here. We have multiple display options here, tons of USB-A ports. You know, there's not a lot of USB-C ports, I will say that, but it's not a deal breaker for me. I can use the little adapters if I really need more Type-C ports on here, but you know, there's tons of USB 3 ports on here that are going to accommodate anything you would need. I think it's great for streaming for that reason as well. You can connect a lot of drives to this, flash drives, whatever you need, this is going to have your back. And again, the RGB lighting here is not something that hinders performance, but it's a pretty sweet addition to this, and it looks really cool with all those unique color, you know, schemes and settings as well. So at the end of the day, is it worth the money? It's a little bit high priced in my opinion for the specs that you get on here, but the specs are exceptional. So you really have to weigh out the pros and cons here. Do you want something that looks like a massive sneaker? Do you want that statement piece that's a focal point in your gaming room? If you do, this is definitely a solid option. You're going to have an amazing experience with it. If you're a little bit more practical like me, you want something a little bit more compact, a little bit smaller, then look elsewhere, because you can find some other options out there a little bit cheaper that are going to serve your needs better. So take a look at this product though, right up here at the top of your screen. You can also find a link in the description of this video. Let me know though in the comments what you guys think of the Sneaker X from Cooler Master. That's going to do it for today. If you enjoyed the content, please give me a thumbs up on the video. It's a huge help to me here on YouTube as I try to further grow the channel. And please hit subscribe as well to stay in the loop for all future videos. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.